Hi, Brenda. Hope you're doing well. Um, for today's webcast thematic, I'm just going to be reading from my notes in my notebook. So, Learning Plan 2 is in regards to qualitative research. Coming up with these questions were pretty fun. I enjoyed it. So, for the screener questions as well as the in-depth questions, they're meant to be open-ended. For my questions, we want to talk to students as well as instructors, but have more of a focus on students. We will be serving instructors, so it's important we have their input as well. But we just want to gauge that and gauge their responses. So for one of our opening questions, we want to know if you are a student or an instructor. We want to make sure we know who we're talking to and who we want to talk to. We are also going to segment the questions by age. So our target group is going to be 18 to 30, but we're also going to split that up 30 to 55 as well. So 18 to 30 and then 30 to 55. So we have our general questions and then our perception questions, exclusion questions, and socioeconomic questions. So to begin, the first question is, how many credits are you enrolled in currently at LTC? 3, 5 to 7, 8 to 11, 12 to 14, or 14 plus. And then NA if you are an instructor. Number 2, what area of study are you in? That will be a fill in the blank question. And then number 3, do you have specific diet modifications? How much do you spend on groceries weekly? How often do you eat out? And then some of the answers for that: never, once a month, every other week, weekly, daily. If it is never, that could also be a part of the exclusion questions. And then, how often do you visit the LTC cafeteria? This could also be part of the exclusion question if your answer is never. What would you typically order when you are at the LTC cafeteria? And then, do you or an immediate family member work in the dairy industry? This would also be an exclusion question if they do work in the dairy industry. And then, what is your gender? Which of the following best describes your household income before taxes? And which of the following best describes your race? Now we want to gather this data, but there will be no judgment on our part as far as race or income goes. We just want to gather that sort of information. I forgot to add that after how often do you eat out, we had a follow-up question of what would you typically order when you are out to eat. And then that concludes my screener questions. And then for my in-depth questions, I took a broad to narrow approach, and also noted that I wanted to avoid leading questions. That was clearly stated in our learning plan. So for number 1, I have, when choosing your meal at home, what do you tend to eat? Number 2, how do you decide on said meal? 3, do you typically prep meals for school/work, and why or why not? Number 4, how important is price to you when purchasing food/beverages? And then number 5, how important is quality to you? Number 6, are you shopping for others in your family, spouse, children, animals, additional family members, or extended family? And then who does the shopping in your household? you, your spouse, children, etc. And then if you or your family has specific diet restrictions, what does that look like, or what may they be? What does that consist of? And number 9, if said diet is followed, what led you to that alteration/restriction, or your family member? And then lastly, do you or your family members count calories, macros, or avoid certain ingredients/food groups? Please explain. So that concludes my screener and in-depth questions. Hope you enjoyed.